we're back in the shop and partially in the house because it's 30 degrees below zero. So the shop only got to about 40 degrees. So we did some of this in the house. But we were painting some black and copper. So this is Sculpt Nouveau black base coat. And this is my husband's mount. So he wanted his just solid black, antlers included. So we ended up I did 3 base coats on his because it was going to be our final coat. Typically I do 2 base coats and then another paint. But because his was going to stay just the base, we ended up doing 3 base coats on his. And I really, really like a textured look. So for his, I did a texture, which is why I'm taking that brush and dabbing it. So when you dab the brush, it leaves a really nice texture behind. You could just paint it on like normal. You could sponge it. You can pretty much do it any way you want, but just remember that with this base, your strokes are going to show. So your application method is going to show in the final result. So that's why I chose to do it this way, so that I had a really nice texture behind it. And I think it turned out really nice. I don't know, I might be partial though. So there's his with his 3 coats. This was another skull that I ended up doing. This is my daughter's. She did black with natural antlers, and we just wrapped baler twine at the base of the antler. And then some of them I went and did copper. So on top of the 2 layers of black, I applied this copper color. Another 2 layers of this. Again, I really like that textured look. So this is getting textured just like that Euro did. This is what that looks like all coppered out. And then this is the Euro. This is actually a 3D print Euro mount that I had to use because this one got broken. So this became my test mount. And then my pig, I tried a stencil, so I was experimenting. So I used a feather stencil on him and then had to freehand some of the correction. But this is that 3D printed black with copper. And I left the copper just as copper, just in the sinuses, down that mid-sagittal, and then behind the eye orbits. And I really like the way this turned out just like that. So this is what it looks like without a plaque. Once the paint was dry and the final clear coats were added. And then it was time to make the plaques. So this we had to do out in the shop. So we made the plaques. We did them a little bit differently. We added some picture frame spaces at the bottom. And then that's a friend's dead head that I told him I'd mount for him, so I did. This one we anchored in our traditional anchor. Then we tried and experimented with a couple different drilled pilot screw methods that we hadn't tried before. Then it was time to add our pictures. So we just did the 1-hour photo printer pictures and then put those in the bottom of our plaques, and they were ready to go. So that's the final product for those. And then I decided to do a javelina. I sketched out my ideas for the javelina on this one, so it was a little different. I actually pre-planned a little bit. I had 2 Euros and a javelina. So this is the black with the copper. This is black with the copper again, similar to the other one that you just saw, but then I patinaed it. So this is a Tiffany green patina. That patina will change colors. It takes about 24 hours to fully change colors. So this video was taken about an hour after it was patinaed. So it's still drying and processing, and then it'll get sprayed with clear. But this is how it looks about an hour after that processing is done. I'm just too impatient to wait to make the video. You can find other videos on how to make the plaques and how to do your Euro mounts right here on our channel. Thanks for watching.